Alright, Shalom Israel, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rikakodash. Double honors to the apostles as a great millstone. Shalom to the whole elect. Again with 145,000. Shalom. So I'll be reading this article. As it reads, NASA scientists saw 7-foot tall aliens. They're tall, black, and look like African Americans, right? And this lesson will be titled Salaki. He seen black aliens, or was it the Lord's angels, right? And this lesson was obviously inspired through the spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. But I just got finished watching the elder Jim at South Carolina, his video, his lesson on the same article. He had a couple of videos including with it, the elder Amatazakbot, and great lesson. Great lesson, and he inspired this lesson as well. Right, so once again, NASA scientists saw 7-foot tall aliens. They're tall, black, and look like African Americans, right? So let's continue on reading the article. He said a former NASA research scientist have come forward with claims of an alien landing at a U.S. Air Force base, and what he describes as unlike anything we've ever been told. Dr. Norman Bergrun, a respected aerospace engineer, has broken decades of silence to detail an astonishing encounter involving what he describes as a mile-long spacecraft and hundreds of extraterrestrial beings. According to Bergrun, the incident occurred during a classified military operation, details of which have been buried under layers of national security for decades. The ship, he alleged, touched down on U.S. soil at a remote Air Force installation where witnesses, not either deceased or sworn to secrecy, were stunned by what unfolded, right? And here go the video right here, which I'm soon finna play, right? So what they saw, was spaceships, the chariots of the Lord, right? And he said he saw hundreds of extraterrestrial beings, meaning he saw the angels coming off of these ships, right? And like he said that they seen they were look like so-called black men, right? So the aliens that they were referring to, the Most High speaks of them, in the Bible, right? Throughout the whole Bible. And little do they know, the angels are literally watching every second of the day, right? It's been countless encounters, countless, sightings of these chariots, of these spaceships, so-called UFOs, etc., right? And Esau, Edom, the devils put it out as if they are aliens, green creatures, from a whole different dimension, etc., etc. Now, these was driving these spaceships, these chariots, are the angels of the Lord, right? They look and they have an appearance of men, right? So, let's we'll get into the video. Let's put the video.
Picture. There is one image there that shows black people getting off. Picture. There is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall?
Yeah.
How tall? Do you know?
Well, they got out the doorway. I don't know how high that is, but
Well, what?
it's safe. 7 feet would be probably a conservative estimate.
Huge cigar-shaped ship appeared over the Air Force base. These cigar-shaped ships were over a mile in length. One of them landed on the airport landing strip area. The back of this craft opened up and several hundred young men with huge, heavy weapons came out of two sides of the ship and formed a protection line around the ship. And the people at that Air Force base, the commander, had a meeting with the individuals that were aboard this ship. And this particular race that landed those ships and that are seen in these huge cigar-shaped ships, they are a black race. They look like African Americans. They were about 6'4", 6'5", huge weapons. And if you've ever seen a race of people that were conquerors, that had never been conquered, they've got this look about them of arrogance. That is exactly what these extraterrestrials had, and they informed these people at this American Air Force base that not only were they from a militaristic society, but they had control a large portion of the galaxy that we live in.
Picture, there is one image there.
So as I was just saying in the video, he described, the spaceship, the chariot that they seen, he described the man, that came off the ships, right? He said they looked like so-called African Americans, right? He said they were about 6'4", 6'5". He said it looked like a race, so-called African Americans, but he said they looked like they had a different look to them, as if they never been conquered, which the angels never been conquered, right? So just because they said that they've been in a cigar-shaped like shit, let's go to the book of Zechariah. Is it chapter 3? Hold on, it might be Zephaniah. Hold on, Salaki. It's one of these. Salaki. Bear with me. It should be very simple. Oh, is it in Zechariah? I think I'm thinking about another scripture. Oh yeah, it is in Zechariah. Yeah, I thought it was 3 and 5, so like it was 5 and 3. But so this is the book of Zechariah chapter 5 and verse 1. And the read said, "Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll." So right here it referring to a spaceship. He said it looked like a flying roll. And he said unto me, "What seest thou?" And I answered, I said, "A flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and breadth thereof 10 cubits." Right? Then said he unto me, "This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it." So that curse that is referring to, right, are these spaceships, coming out and covering the face of the earth, right? The chariots. When Yahweh shall come back and bring righteous judgment upon the earth, that he come back with thousands of chariots. He coming with a host of armies, right? And they also go be coming with chariots, and the chariot that Yahweh is going to be riding on, or driven by, is going to be a great gigantic chariot, right? So even in Esdras, he referred to it as a mountain, right? That's how huge it was, right? Well, it's a curse because they go cover the face of the earth, and it's going to be a full-out invasion, right? And I'll just start right there, So let's go back to the article, right? And we'll get to how the angels look, according to the scriptures or according to the Bible, right? So let's continue on. It said, "But Brian describes the beings that existed, so like that exited the craft as a black race of extraterrestrials," right? So these angels are like so-called black men, but we're going to get to that. Just be patient. He said around 7 feet tall, muscular, and with the bearing of a warrior class. They had the look of conquerors who had never been conquered. He stated in a rare interview, there was a kind of arrogance in their walk. They were not grays, not little green men. These were beings of power. right? So Esau Edom, been lying to y'all, and I just showed that man just because he Esau, but he been lying to the people saying they green man, gray, fucking, weird shaped heads, weird shaped bodies, this and that. Nah, man, all that is false, So say the shocking racial specificity of Bergeron's account has raised eyebrows and sparked heated debate in UFO circles, with some speculating that the U.S. government has long been aware of multiple extraterrestrial races, some possibly more humanoid than others. I think I'm gonna just stop right there, and Lord willing, I don't forget. Hold on, I'll just jump down. I'm gonna post this link in the comment section for if brothers and sisters want to read it. Read the whole thing. Go back and get that video, the clip of that video. Y'all can, right? So I'm gonna just okay, boom. So I'm gonna jump down to right here. Say with the growing chorus of whistleblowers, including former intelligence officers and military pilots, Bergeron's claims add weight to a disturbing possibility. Humanity may already be in contact with multiple extraterrestrial civilizations, and those encounters may not always be friendly, right? So when the angels come back, along with the Yahushua, you gotta understand that they're not coming back with kisses and hugs. They're not coming back throwing, candy out of their spaceships. They're not coming back, with smiles on their face, right? They coming with that look of conquerors, right? But they finna bring destruction. They finna be killing finna be killing many people, the wicked, the other nations, along with 2/3 of our people, the Hebrew Israelites, right? So, let's continue on. You gotta understand, like it say, humanity may already be in contact. It said something about, it's in this next one. He said the U.S. government, for its parts, continues to release drills and drafts through Pentagon programs like AARO and UAP task force briefings, but Bergeron's account suggests that a deliberate cover-up spanning generations with an agenda of secrecy and control, right? So you gotta think Esau been knew about the spaceship. They been knew about, these so-called extraterrestrials, things of that such, right? Why do you think they have Space Force? Why you think they got aircrafts, Air Force, all these? Because they know they go try to make battle with the Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. They go try to make battle with the Yahushua and the angels, man. They got Air Force and shit. Ain't nobody using Air Force anymore. They got those because they go try to fight against Yahushua and the angels, man, when he was trying to bring judgment upon his earth, right? So it says some in the truth moment believe this black race of extraterrestrials may tie to ancient astronaut theories that powerful non-human beings once ruled Earth and could be returning. So, and I'm going to just stop right down again. Like I said, I'm going to post this link in the comment section, and y'all can go through, read it, watch it. I read majority of it for y'all, so let's get into the scriptures, right? So let's go to the book of Ezekiel, the first chapter. We'll start at verse 4. And it reads, and I looked it, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, right? So the north is basically referring to the heavens, right? And the whirlwind is a spitting ship. He said, a great cloud, and a fire enfolded itself, and a brightness was about it. And out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. 4 living creatures, what that mean? Go to the notes. Meaning they were angels, right? They had likeness of a man. So these angels have a likeness of a man. So what did the man say in the video, in the article? That they seen these so-called black extraterrestrials get off these ships, but they looked like so-called African Americans, right? So they're just showing you right here that the angels have an appearance and likeness of a man, right? It's saying everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a cow's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. So who else look like burnished brass? Brass. Feet look like they were burnt in a furnace brass. Roughly paraphrasing. Yahushua, right? So they look like so-called. So you get to they look like so-called black people, right? But like it's saying, the sole of their feet was like the sole of a cow's foot, meaning the boots that they had on give you a visual look, right? Like the little ninja boots that if y'all used to wear. The hell is all this? If y'all used to watch like little ninja TV shows, things of that such, like this, right? So y'all can see. Like cow's foot, because I got the little split in between them. Oh shit. So that's what that's referring to right there. So it's saying their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet were like the soles of a cow's foot. So I just showed y'all what it was referring to, right? And they sparkle like the color of burnished brass, right? So who else look like that? Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 1. And verse 14, because this is what they go see when the skies, when the heavens open up. They're not finna see a white man. They're finna see so-called black man, right? With thousands of chariots, thousands of angels. Revelation 1:14, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire, right? And his feet like it's a fine brass, as if they burnt in a furnace. His voice has the sound of many waters, right? So this is describing Yahushua. So it said, man, his head and his hair were like white like wool, and as white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. And his feet like it's a fine brass, right? As we know, brass is basically a brown color, a shade of brown, as if they burnt in a furnace. Come on, man. So these angels, come on. Let's get with the program here. He's saying his voice has the sound of many waters, right? So, obviously, as I can see, the angels Yahushua are so-called black men, so-called black people, try the Hebrew Israelites, right? So, and also going along with back to the article, how he said that the contact, so said humanity may already be in contact with multiple extraterrestrial civilizations, and those encounters may not always be friendly, right? So we know that they come back to bring, to destroy the space, to kill things of that sense, right? But also, how the scriptures say, somehow entertain angels unaware. Hebrews 13:2, he said, "Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares," right? So with these angels having the appearance of men, you never know who you encounter. You could have been encountering an angel this whole time and never knew it. That's why we always nice to people, treat people with respect, things of that sense, right? Because you never know who watching, you never know who you can encounter, right? We know that the angels are watching us every second of the day, reporting everything we do to the Heavenly Father. You understand? These chariots, these spaceships, they driven around daily. Some see them, some don't. I know me personally, I see chariots, I done seen multiple chariots. I done seen a lot of chariots, right? Sometimes going to work, sometimes it's being outside late at night looking at the sky, sometimes it's chilling outside. Even one time, matter of fact, even 2 times during the daytime, right? So I always see the chariots, right? So, right, Kahala Yahweh Bashin Yahshua on that. So, like I was saying, might not be friendly encounters. Let's go to, what is that, 2 Thessalonians, chapter 1, verse 6 and 7. And it reads, "Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you." So we're going to get that recompense, right? We'll get that, basically, repay that revenge, to them that trouble us. Who will trouble us? Esau, Edom, the wicked, right? The other nations. He's saying, and to you who are troubled, rest with us, where the Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels, right? So Yahushua is going to be revealed. And I'm got a precept. So it says Yahushua shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels. So it's showing you right there that Yahushua is coming back with his angels, right? So this is the book of Revelation chapter 1 and verse 7, and it reads, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. So it said, behold, he, referring to Yahushua, cometh with clouds, right? Those clouds are referring to the spaceships, the chariots, right? And who's going to be driving them or coming with them? The angels, right? So let's get that. Book of Revelation chapter 19. And we'll start at verse, I guess we'll start at verse 11. And it reads, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. So it's referring to the chariot, right? The spaceship. So it's referring to as a white horse, right? So is it either a great white chariot or either a great bright chariot, right? And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he does judge and make war. So in righteousness he doth judge and make war, right? So he coming back to judge. So he coming back, judging the world righteously, right? Beaming up his elect and also killing the wicked, the sinners. Along amongst with the wicked who Esau, Edom, right? Also the other nations right behind Esau, Edom, right? Even the 2/3 of our people, right? Continuing on and saying make war, right? We're gonna be making war with the the fighter jets, right? The air, the aircraft, Esau military, right? Continuing on, verse 12, he say his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Heavenly Father, right? So it's saying he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. So you're gonna see that as referring to basically how he talking about how the wine press, I believe that's in Isaiah the 63rd chapter. So let's continue on, because go mention that verse 15. Verse 14 say, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. So that armies are the angels. He said, which were in heaven followed him upon white horses. So these angels are going to be following right behind Yahushua, shooting concentrated heat, fire, laser beams, you name it, right? You go to seeing people, evaporate, turning to dust, etc. Man, the angel's not coming to play. It's not finna be a happy encounter. No, it's not gonna be a happy, friendly encounter. It's finna be a fucking angry encounter, right? Fierce, dominance, right? 15, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. Did it say save the nations? No, he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and tread of the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty Most High, the Almighty power, right? So he's saying, and he tread of the winepress, right? And that's why it look like his vesture, his what he have on will be dipped in blood, right? So he come back to bring, which one to say destruction, right? He come back to kill. He come back to, show his dominance, his wrath. He come back to take over his kingdom, right? So what else did I want? Isaiah. We'll finish off with Isaiah chapter 26. Go down to verse 20, and it reads, come, my people, enter down into thy chambers. Do that mean the bunkers underground? No, that mean the chariots, right? So he said, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the nation be overpassed, right? So he's saying, hide thyself as it were for a little moment, right? So indeed, right? Once they can be beaten up, you know, they go hide themselves, you know. Most I go keep them from the destruction, so they go hide themselves until Yahushua, you know, indignation, you know, is basically over with, right? 21 say, for behold, the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain, right? So Yahushua's coming back, you know, to punish the inhabitants of the earth, you know, for their sins, for their iniquity, for what they did to, you know, his people, who are the Hebrew Israelites, right? He said the earth shall also disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain, right? So with that being said, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson, you know, showing y'all that the angels are so-called black man, you know, and that, you know, we ready to be beamed up, man. Ready to be beamed up, man. Ready to see this, you know, Esau be taking out a rulership. I'm ready to see the angels, you know, put butt the ass. I'm ready to see Yahushua put butt the ass. I'm ready to see dominance. I'm ready to see the kingdom. I'm ready to see all that shit, man. I ain't gonna fake. I'm ready, you know. And Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson once again. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rikakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, the great millstone. Shalom to the whole elect. We're getting with 144,000. Shalom.